in this section is about human microbiome and immunity. So, why human microbiome and immunity is so important? Up to now, we have talked about many diseases. So, these diseases, some of the factors are included inside our body, the diet, these kind of factors. And human microbiome is another factor that can affect your healthy state, that can affect the state of your body. And immunity is important because immunity is the factor that protects you from your diseases. So what is human microbiome? So we earlier learned that cell is the basic building block of life. How many cells in human body? There are around 36 trillion cells in your body. And there are around 38 trillion microbes in your body. So the number of microbes in your body is higher than the number of cells. And there are over 10,000 different microbial species that exist in different parts of your body. It can be bacteria, it can be archaea, it can be fungi, it can be algae, it can be protozoans, it can be viruses, there are many others. And every place in your body, in many surfaces and many organs, they have these microbes. And microbiome is very distinct to each site. And in each site, they have different functions. Usually, most microbes are found in the gut, in the large and small intestine. And the lowest number of microbes are found in brain, in the central nervous system, according to the recent reports. It can affect the stress, your behaviors, those kind of things it can affect. And you cannot find any microbes in cornea of your eyes. You cannot find any microbes there. Except for that place, all other places and surfaces, there are microbes in your body. So what does these microbes do? They help with the digestion. They can break down fiber. They can synthesize vitamin, for example, vitamin K, they can synthesize. They can support immune system. They can compete with other pathogens and produce antimicrobial compounds. So they can compete with the other pathogens. They can break down foreign compounds like drugs, preservatives that you take. They can break down. They support the bone health by absorbing calcium. They influence your brain health. They affect your mood. They affect your stress conditions. They affect your behavior. So this is how the microbes in your body affect your body. And recent research has told that healthy person, the overall health of a person is linked to the balanced microbiome. If good overall health is linked to a balanced microbiome. So what is known as good or balanced microbiome? If you look at this picture, you can see this is a balanced microbiome. You can see many types of different microbes. There are round ones, square ones, ones with flagella, ones with, rounds. So there are different types of bacteria or fungi or viruses. But if with time, some of these the organisms get affected by different things that we do, our diet, the antibiotics that we take, the drugs that we take, it can affect. So it gives an unbalanced microbiome. You can see the main difference between unbalanced and balanced. There is very few types of microbes in the unbalanced microbiome. So if you have an unbalanced microbiome for a long time, with years, it can lead to obesity. It can lead to diabetes. It can lead to colon cancer. So it's kind of a dangerous situation that you need to be taken care of. So what is meant by a balanced microbiome? What are the factors that affect the balanced microbiome? The first factor is diet. It is believed that, not believed, it is shown that Mediterranean diet provides a good microbiome, basically for the gut microbiota. Mediterranean diets includes many vegetables, many fruits, many grains, dairy, meat products, and fish and others. But in the world today, many of us prefer the Western diet. In Western diet, there is very little fruits, very little vegetables, and very little grains. But there are many high calorie food, a sugary food. So because of these factors, the microbiota get imbalanced, and it can cause many diseases. Other than diet, there are several other factors that also affects the microbiome, like genetics, like stress, drugs, those kind of things. So, since you have an idea about your microbiome, I'm going to talk a bit about your immunity, because we have talked previously about vaccines. So, I'm not going to go into deep about immunity, because you need to know what protects you. How can you protect yourself against these diseases? And how can you prepare for these diseases by doing genetic testings or by understanding your inheritance patterns? So, in immunity, in your body when your body responds to diseases in mainly two ways. Some responses are non-specific. They are usually the first line of defense. And some responses are very specific towards a particular organism, a particular pathogen. So, non-specific responses, they are very quick, they occur very quickly. Usually these includes the first line of defense and the innate immunity, internal defenses. The first line of defenses, they include the barrier defenses like skin, secretions, and mucous membranes. In addition to that, your white blood cells, the phagocytic cells, the inflammatory responses, natural killer cells, these all provide protection, and it all gives non-specific responses against pathogenic microorganisms. So, these responses are highly rapid. The other group is specific responses. They are very slow, but importance of this kind of a response is they can be keep in the memory of a human cell. They can, the memory of the infection can be kept in your DNA sequence data. So, it includes antibodies, it includes cytotoxic T cells likewise. So, these cell types produces the specific immunity against the people. So, if your immunity is low, or if your immunity is not as expected, not like other people, how can you boost your immunity? One way is through vaccines. The vaccines is an artificial immunization process. In this artificial immunity, the vaccines boost your immune system. So, up to now, the vaccines have saved around 2 to 3 million lives per year. It provides protection against polio, rubella, measles, tetanus, HPV, diphtheria. There are many other diseases. So, how they work? The vaccines work by imitating the bacteria or imitating the virus. When they imitate the virus or bacteria inside your body, a response is produced against those imitating factors, which is very strong and specific. This is how the vaccines controls the disease. Before the vaccines were introduced, you can see there are some diseases that occur in high numbers. For example, diphtheria. Before the vaccines introduced, there were around 200,000 people in US with the disease. But now, it's less than 1 after the vaccine. And the best scenario for vaccine usage is the smallpox. Smallpox has killed many people in the world in the past. But now, the smallpox is completely eradicated from the world. So, now there are no patients with smallpox. It's mainly because of the vaccines that is produced. So, with this, you can understand how the vaccines work and why it is important to get to know this information. So, you can get a brief understanding of how your body works, what controls your body, how can you identify whether you have risk for particular disease, how can you identify your traits like blood type, your skin color, your hair color, your eye color, how can you identify? Not the skin color, sorry. And then you can identify different types of diseases. What are the diseases? What are the factors that cause these diseases? And then you can get proper precautions to prevent them. So with this, I'm going to finish my lecture here. So if you have any questions, you can email. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks.